What's up, everyone? Thralls Metal here once again. I'm the Croc Neck.
I'm Jammin' John.
And we have an album review for you. And this one's going to be a lot of fun. So, one that was, again, definitely on our radar just because of how strange and divisive this band is.
And the ridiculous music video.
And then the ridiculous music videos.
I'm sorry, I haven't seen the other one.
Oh my goodness, they're great. We're talking about the debut full length from Sanguisugabogg, Tortured Whole. That's whole with a W, but I get it. It's funny. This came out also on the 26th of March on Century Media Records. This is their big debut. They had a 4-song demo before this, Pornographic Seizures. I bought it from Maggot Stomp, and apparently this demo just took off. And lo and behold, one 4-song demo later, they're signed to Century Media. They only formed in 2019 in Columbus, Ohio, so these guys are almost kind of local.
Kind of hometown boys,
so,
kind of.
Way to go.
Yeah.
And in terms of describing their sound, it's old school death metal, but it's like that caveman old school death metal, like just riffs and grunts, but brutal death metal. And I don't know, it's kind of a bridge between the two.
There's more groove in it, and it's a lot slower at times than I thought it would be. It's not your typical brutal / slam where it's just blast beats and like an occasional breakdown. Like, there's a lot going on, so...
Yeah, it was kind of hard to describe because, I mean, I feel like I've listened to bands like this before, but maybe not the blend like this.
Right.
These are usually two kind of separate camps, I guess you could say. The first 2 tracks were the ones they did the outlandish videos for. Menstrual Envy and Gored in the Chest. I don't know exactly what Menstrual Envy is about, but I believe it does involve hacking off penis and bleeding. But
well, yeah, because it's got the penis monster teamed up with Trauma.
It's beautiful. I think a whole new generation is going to know Trauma now, which they're awesome, and they're awesome. That's it. Sergeant Kabuki Man was in Gored in the Chest.
Yep.
I was elated to see him. But when it came down to like the music, it's, again, raw, it's gritty. It's every slow breakdown you hear in a Mortician song, and that's why I'm decked out in that, because that's instantly what it reminded me of.
I went to dinner with my parents over in Mastodon, so if I look fat and sweaty, it's because I ate 24 ounces of prime rib.
Oh, you poor thing.
So, or else I probably would have put on a death metal shirt, but I think Mastodon's better for Mom than Morbid Angel.
And again, like, in terms of their sound, it's, again, like, I was comparing a lot of very different bands. Like, when it comes down to, like, the brutal death metal sound, this reminds me a lot of early Broken Oak. Like, those first 2 albums, namely. But, again, it's very groove-laden, and that's kind of that old school side. So, like, you know, 1 foot in the Broken Hope camp, another foot maybe in, like, Autopsy or Obituary.
Yep. Like the song Dragged by a Truck. First of all, I love these song titles. We haven't even got to the good ones yet. But Dragged by a Truck has this really sick Dying Fetus groove. And maybe what we didn't mention is the guitars are tuned to drop G.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't know it was a thing either, especially not on a 6-string guitar. So the strings were pretty much flopping there, but these riffs are heavy.
Yes.
Heavy.
I mean, the tone, like, between the bass and the guitar sort of just mingling together to create this wall of sludge, it's just massive sounding. Throw on the vocals, which the vocals on here are very interesting. Like, I was expecting, like, all right, it's just big pig growls across the board.
Right.
No, he's got, like, a lot of different growls that he employs, and there's, like, a reasonable amount of clarity, which, you know, I'm going to get the album eventually, and I want to see the lyric book just for morbid curiosity.
I really do, because...
But I've made out some words, and they were disturbing. This has hooks in it, and like, it's legit, like, headbangable grooves and such, and you only get, like, pockets of blast beats. They're kind of just scattered out. They're almost like, you know, brief periods of like a fill or something like that.
Yeah, like they're peppered in there. Like, I really didn't hear blasts too often. I can pretty much count on one hand the amount of times I heard a legitimate blast beat that lasted longer than what a fill would.
Yeah. Now, when it comes down to the guitar work itself, I think that is one of the most interesting things on here. There are no solos. There are no leads. This is all about big chunky riffs, but they're weird riffs.
Yeah, dude, they're crawling, and all over the place. It's not like the Cannibal Corpse crawl where you get a riff that repeats itself. Like, this is just a random collection of notes. I think that I don't know.
There's an anchor point for the riff, and then it kind of wanders off. It's like a kid that, all right, just stay by my side when they're at the grocery store or the mall. And then you're just like, oh yeah, no, I'm listening. They boom, take right the fuck off. And you have to scream and get them back.
So, I was a kid in the 80s, so my mom had the leashes. You're not going too far, you little fucker, because I got a leash.
My mom didn't. She probably should have. We used to fucking hide in the toilet paper aisle, hollow out one section and then build a wall and just hide and not make a word, and then watch our parents have a stroke.
Flip out. See, we didn't do that, but we did the hide in the clothes racks. And
we did that too. We did that too.
Racks,
but they would see your feet.
Not always. If you got the ones with the dresses that hung real low, my mom flipped her shit once. I laughed.
We were terrible kids. We were terrible kids. Dead as Shit and the title track are great examples of this. They have these, again, interesting riffs that kind of just wander off, but they come back. There's always some sort of anchor point. And Dead as Shit is almost kind of built on that one riff for most of the song. And the title track is the longest track on here, just a little bit over 5 minutes. But this one actually gets maybe a little bit more adventurous.
Technical musicianship.
Yeah.
Actually, the first of all, the drum work on this album is amazing.
Yeah.
This guy's really good. Aside from his shitty ringing snare, he really finds an interesting way to make things work with the rhythm section. There's ghost notes in this song.
One of those wild moments in terms of drum work comes on the song Dick Fillet. Trying not to laugh, say it. Failed again. Either way, after all the laughter, there is a really cool section of ghost notes, and ghost notes with a pingy snare are very easy to pick up, but he's doing some wild stuff on there.
Yeah, there's a lot of syncopation going on with this crazy riff, and he pretty much touches on every nook and cranny of this groove, and it really, again, the drum work is, I was not expecting this.
No, I mean,
from this.
I heard the demo. I thought it was good. This is a little bit different. This is a little bit more technical. And, this is a longer format. Granted, it is only 33 minutes. It's them kind of stretching out a little bit. And they kind of peppered in maybe a little bit of filler. I will say that. The interludes, Pornographic and Interlube, are both pretty much just kind of in there to... Well, one is to make you go, what? Yep. And the other one is just a loud synth noise. Pornographic... It sounds like a combination of a soap opera intro and Twin Peaks.
Sounds like Family Ties meets early Cinemax movies.
It's like they got John Carpenter to score Family Ties themes. Here, I got something. It seems a little dark. Doesn't one of them die? And then Posthumous Compersion and Urinary Ichor are both good, but they're really short. I think Posthumous Compersion is only a minute and 6 seconds long, and then
minute and 5 seconds.
And then Urinary Ichor is about a little bit over 2, and that one felt like it was kind of building to more of a song. It feels like it was.
Yeah, it's wait. I wish that was longer, because first of all, this is where it gets kind of doomy. And doom is a presence throughout this album, but this is almost incantation doom.
Yeah. It's a different feel. You get the kind of slow, all right, you take that dying fetus stomp and then slow it down to a crawl, kind of doomy, brutal feel. But this was Death Doom in the intro. And I kind of wanted to see them maybe bookend that moment, or, kind of just work with it, make a longer song out of it. But it got cut off at the dick, filleted.
They did kind of pick back up with the sludge, though, for the last track.
Say it.
Felching Filth.
If you don't know what that is, you Google it. Also, you're welcome if you enjoyed that.
Yes, again, with the crowbar sludge, too moldish, dissonant riff work.
I love the drum intro.
Yep.
The drum intro is really cool. It's this tribal drum thing. And again, that kind of shows off that little bit of flashiness in this very rotten meat and potatoes fillet of dick platter. I'm going to keep coming back to that.
Fillet of dick felching. Well, that's kind of...
Well, that's the sauce.
Yeah, we don't want to ruin it. It's just crazy how this album really is all over the place, but it's not overly chaotic. And I do want to mention there's a fair amount of heft in the production. And believe it or not, the singles that were demoed for this album are even heftier than that.
Yeah.
So it's not typical at all.
And I mean, I definitely want to bring up the fact that this band gets like a fair amount of hate. Like going through and like reading at least like, you know, different responses to their songs or albums or at least the demo. There was no middle ground. There was either, dude, this band is amazing, or dude, I hate this band, I hope they all get AIDS. It's literally like two very big extremes there. There isn't like a middle person going, you know, they're not bad.
So, I mean, maybe we'll be the
middle ground here.
Yeah, maybe we'll be the middle ground, because to be honest, I am fairly middle ground about this. I'm going to give it 3.5 stars. It's not what I expected. It wasn't. When I heard the first song, I was like, oh, it's going to be slam. I'm going to hate my life. But the guitar work is great. The drum work is pretty top notch. It's just weird. Like, I can't give it a 4 because I don't know.
It's goofy, it's self-aware. There's no way they don't know. I mean, it's impossible at this point. You don't write a song called Dick Fillet or Filching Filth and not know you're being goofy.
Sure, like if this was a troll thing, good job. Like,
Yeah,
and that's why I
bravo.
want to read the lyrics. Maybe you won't have to Google Felching. Maybe they'll explain it to you in the lyrics.
Oh, I'm sure they would. This is a very interesting release.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like when it comes down like the standard tropes of brutal death metal, like I think about even the album covers. It generally involves like a zombie is with a shovel and a chick snatch, and you know they're like putting a hatchet in her skull and then you know drilling it. It's always weird.
Wholesome family stuff.
Oh yeah, dude.
It was on an episode of Family Ties.
Practically a Hallmark card. But these guys are kind of escaping a lot of those tropes and just kind of making it silly, and that might be part of the hatred for them, but I kind of like it. It's a little bit refreshing. And overall, I want to give this 3.5 stars as well. I enjoyed a lot of this.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked their demo. I thought it was really good. This, you know, on a longer format, I think there was a little bit of filler on here, but for the most part, there's some solid songs. I mean, you know, Dragged by a Truck's awesome. Dick Fillet, of course. You know, it's very interesting. It's a different take on it. I like the merger of the caveman metal meets like the brutal death thing. It might be a bridge too far for some, judging by the polarizing reaction of this band, but I think they're good, and I think they're definitely worth checking out. And actually, I'm going to bring this up too. This kind of almost reminds me of the reaction a lot of people had to Job for a Cowboy initially.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I think they turned out to be a good band, though the metal community was pretty divided on them too.
They annoy me because people really like that first album, and I don't,
No, I don't.
at all.
I don't. But I like both the Sanguisugabogg's albums.
Yes.
And I'll definitely get this when it comes out. And if you've been pushed away by the hype, check them out anyway. And the videos are hilarious anyway, so yeah, just...
Yeah, exactly. If you're gonna do that, if you're gonna check them out, at least watch the video, because, I mean, they partnered with Troma.
Yeah.
Troma was a piece of my teenage years. I have a Tromeo and Juliet poster. So
Yeah, I own Terra Firma Special Edition. Even has like a little PSA with Lemmy and Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
yeah,
Music video by Entombed. I mean, yeah, Troma rules.
Cannibal the Musical was Troma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you enjoyed this review, give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to the channel, subscribe, because we do stuff like this all the time. And we're officially on Patreon.
We are.
There will be a link below for that, and we are throwing in some podcasts on there as part of our tier thing, which I think there's only one tier anyway. So once you sign up, you'll get a podcast pretty much every month, and we're going to ramble about all sorts of nonsense for you.
$3.
Yeah.
$3. I got $3.
So yeah, definitely check that out. That's a new thing we're offering, and we're gonna get cracking on some merch ideas here soon. So
Yep.
plenty of stuff coming. We're busy here.
Yep, we're having fun. I'm having fun, dude.
I'm having fun.
a lot of fun.
We hope you're having fun. So with that, I thank you very much for watching, and we will catch you later.